Hey guys, here's your notes, your first video notes on adding, subtracting, and multiplying monomials. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at what a monomial is. Okay, and I filled in some of the notes already, so if you need to pause the video to fill in yours, please do so. A monomial is a number, a variable, or a product of the number and variables. Some examples of this are 5x, that's a product of a number and a variable, 3x squared, 9x squared, y to the 7th, negative 5 over 2, x, y to the 4th. So it doesn't matter how complicated these get, as long as it's just the one term with a number and a variable being multiplied, or just a number or just a variable, it's considered a monomial. Okay, so those are just some examples. We're going to be working with those in this section. Monomials with the same variables and exponents are like terms. Okay, so if it's the same variables and they have the same exponents on the same variables, then you can combine them easily. They're like terms. To add or subtract monomials, just combine the like terms. So let's take a look at some of these examples here. So number one, 17x minus 25x. So these are like terms, okay, because the variable is x, and it has the same exponent on the x. There's an exponent of 1 on both of these x's. Okay, so to add or subtract these, like it says up here, just combine the like terms. So 17 minus 25x, that becomes negative 8x. So all we're going to do is we're going to look at the constants, the 17 and the 25, and we're going to say 17 minus 25 is negative 8, and then we're going to keep the same variable here. Okay, let's try another one. Number 2, 23y squared plus 6y squared. So we have the variable y here is the same variable, and they both have an exponent of 2, so that means that they are like terms, and we can just combine them by adding or subtracting their coefficients. So this negative 23 and this 6, those are all the coefficients of these terms. Okay, so to add these, we would take negative 23, add 6 to it, and that gives us negative 17y squared. We keep the same variable with the same exponent. Okay, so go ahead and try the rest of these on your own. They do get a little bit more complicated, but just remember, if they have the same variable with the same exponents on the same variables, then you can just add and subtract the coefficients, so the numbers next to them. Okay, and then on the second page of your notes here is when we multiply monomials. Okay, so we first need to look at the product rule of exponents. Okay, to multiply monomials, use the product rule. So here we have x to the a times x to the b. So this a and b can represent any numbers. As long as you have the same base, they're both x, you can combine these, and the way that you combine them is by adding the exponents. Okay, so this has a base of x, base of x, base of x. So your answer is also going to have a base of x. And then the exponents, since these are different and they're being multiplied together, all you have to do is add the exponent. So this will be x to the a plus b. Okay, so that's really important. Make sure you keep this rule close by as you're doing these example problems. And we'll also do some examples in the foldable. It might lay it out a little bit better for you. So let's take a look at number 17. Okay, so we have the same type of deal going here as this x to the a times x to the b. We have x squared times x cubed. Okay, same base, they both have the same variable, and they're being multiplied together. Okay, so this only applies if there's a multiplication here. So what we're going to do, if they have the same base, the answer is going to be the same base. And then we're going to add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And that's the answer. X squared times x cubed is x to the 5th. Okay, let's look at number 18 here. We have a to the 9th times a. If you'd like, you can put a little 1 up there so you can visualize the exponents. Same base, so the answer will have the same base. And then we just add the exponents. 9 plus 1 is 10. Okay, I'll let you do number 19 on your own. And those are just variables without coefficients. Now let's take a look if they have numbers out in front. Okay, so here's the rule here. You're going to multiply the coefficients together. So the coefficients are the numbers that are attached. And then you're going to use the product rule to simplify the variables. So let's try it out here. 4x squared times 3x to the fifth. We have the same base and they're being multiplied together. Okay, so we can use a product rule, but here first it says we're going to multiply the coefficients. The coefficients are 4 and 3. Okay, so let's do that really quickly. Multiplying the coefficients, 4 times 3 is 12. And then we're going to simplify using the product rule. So we have x squared times x to the fifth. So we have the same base, x, and then we're going to add the exponents together. That gives us x to the seventh. Let's try one more together, and then you can do the rest on your own. So here we have 3x to the sixth times 5x squared. Just remember, if there is no sign and the numbers are up against each other, that just indicates that it's a multiplication problem. Okay? So first, multiply the coefficients. Coefficients of 3 and 5. Multiply those together. That gives us 15. And then we have x to the sixth times x squared, same base. And then add the exponents, 15x to the eighth. And that is the product there. Okay, so go ahead and try these on your own. As you can see, it gets a little bit more complicated, but if you just keep track of what you're doing, multiply the numbers first, and then multiply the variables. Let's try actually one of these together that has multiple variables. So number 23, first multiply the coefficients. -4 times 3 is -12. Now we have two different variables here. We have this a cubed and a squared, and then we have this b and b to the fifth. That's okay. All we do is we just take one at a time and multiply it. So a cubed times a squared, our base is still going to be a, and then we add the exponents, so 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, and then we take a look at b to the first and b to the fifth. Add them together, b to the sixth, okay? So you just take the variables one by one there. It's kind of a lot going on with these arrows. Okay, so do some practice on your own. If you have more questions, send me an email or ask me in class. And your first homework assignment will be on this adding, subtracting, and multiplying monomials. Down here is some mixed practice. Okay, so it looks like we have some variables being multiplied together, here and here, and then they're being added together. I just want to remind you of your order of operations. It is PEMDAS. Okay, first you're going to do the parentheses. As you can see here, there's really nothing going on in the parentheses. Then you're going to be doing the exponents. None of those will really apply right now, but I want you to see that first you do the multiplication and then you do the addition. Okay, so make sure that you're multiplying these together first on their own, and then you can add them together. Okay, if you do it in the wrong order, it's not going to work out for you. All right, let me know if you have any questions.